What's going on, everyone? This is Vince from Life with Vince Lou coming at you with another BJJ white belt video where I share with you all my experience as a white belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I've been practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for about 11 months now, but something cool that's really happened in the last, month and a half is that it's all started to make just a little bit more sense. A little bit more sense in the way that I think about Jiu-Jitsu, but also my flow on the mats, right? Because before, I feel like I would learn one move and we would drill that move, and then I would be like, okay, I know how to do this one move. But then when I would try to hit it rolling and I couldn't get it on the opponent, I wouldn't know how to transition it to the next move. But now it's like, now you can piece things. Now I've been able to piece things together, like 2 or 3 move sequence where, like, okay, if I don't get this, just grab here somewhere else and then go for something else. So it's really started to flow in my mind a lot more fluidly, but also on the mats too. I mean, I've noticed myself hitting a lot more submissions. It's usually from my back, but I mean, because for the first few months I was so focused on playing defense, was like, okay, I honestly just don't want to get choked out. And I feel like for me as a small, I weigh 135 pounds, 135 pound white belt, I mean, any of the color belts can smash me, and any of the white belts, because they tend to be heavier, will smash me too. So if I just focus on defense, I'll be able to add that offensive piece later on. And for me, it's really paid off because I'll notice myself in a defensive position, or like they are like side controlling me, and then I'll get back into half guard and I'll get back into full guard. But then once I get back into full guard, I'll take that split second when I get back into full guard to capitalize on transitioning to an armbar, right? So it's made a lot more sense. And even I'll give you a story, just because this past week there were a few new white belts that came in. One had 3 months, one had a month and a half, and one had just only a few days, but these guys were a lot heavier than me. So I was stuck in a few positions where I felt like they were just tossing me around, and I was like, okay, just breathe. And I breathed through it, I thought through it, and then once because they didn't really know how to defend certain things, or they themselves weren't really have all that jiu-jitsu knowledge, but they would leave an arm out, and I actually submitted all 3 of them. I hit a triangles on 2 of them, and then a baseball choke on the other one. So I thought that was really cool, and they seemed surprised. They were like, whoa, how much do you weigh? And they were like, I was like 135 pounds. And then I was like, how much do you weigh? And they were like 180. I'm like, whoa, okay. And then they just kind of saw how powerful jiu-jitsu was. So for me, as a smaller guy, it just gets my mind working, because I need to understand leverage. I need to understand fulcrums, and it needs to be more of a cerebral, I need to play a cerebral game with jiu-jitsu rather than trying to overpower them. So I mean, that is just super empowering for me to know that, I knew that this stuff worked, but I was playing just so much defense for the longest time that I really would, at a certain point, I was like, I kind of feel uncomfortable, even attacking people, right? I mean, because I wouldn't know how to do so, because I would never be in the attack mode position. I would just be in defense. I would get mounted. I would get a side controlled, and I'd just be like, okay. But now that I know how to get out of those positions, once I get out of those positions into a half guard or a full guard, I know some attacks, and I can usually transition into an attack from my back. So super empowering for me. So to all you white belts, that are does this get easier? Yeah, it does get easier with just more mat time, with just more, instruction. Go to classes. Instead of going 1 to 2 days a week, go 4 or 5, because at one point I was only going 1 to 2 days a week, but when I would come back, I would feel like I kind of started from zero again. But when you go 4 to 5 days a week, it's the wheels are always turning in your head, but also you're always moving on the mats. So the more often that you practice jiu-jitsu, the more comfortable that you're gonna feel. And then there's just gonna be one day, it might not even be one day, but there's gonna be a moment you're gonna be like, whoa, I'm hitting a lot more submissions, but I'm able to connect more dots. So yeah, Hope you all enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Let me know what you think in the comments, questions, concerns, sarcastic remarks. Other than that, see y'all soon.